Today I'm going to continue to work on Kohelet, Ecclesiastes, I think it's called in English, which is a book in the Bible. It is attributed to King Solomon, and it is said that he wrote it when he was an old man. And we worked on the first verses. Thus spoke Kohelet, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Nonsense, everything is nonsense, said Kohelet. All is nonsense. Nonsense. And then I think there was the third verse that we didn't work on. I'm sitting here with Kermit, and I'm going to have a dialogue about this. Let's see what will come. The third verse, I'll read it in Hebrew first of all, few verses. מה יתרון לאדם בכל עמלו שיעמול תחת השמש? דור הולך ודור בא, והארץ לעולם עומדת. בזרח השמש ובא השמש ואל מקומו שואף זורח הוא שם. I will stop here. What is the advantage for a human being in all the work that he is working under the sun? Generation comes and generation goes, and the land forever stands. And the sun shines, and sun comes, and for its place it is aspiring, shining there, going to the south and turning to the north, turning the wind, and on all its sides returns the wind. All the rivers go to the sea, and the sea is not full, for the place where the rivers are going, there they are returning to go. How beautiful. Alright, so let's see what we're going to do with this, what I'm going to do with this. So he's saying, I'm a king, son of David, I'm in Jerusalem. Then he goes straight to the first sentence. Everything is nonsense. And he's speaking about himself in third person. We spoke about it. Yeah. And then he's saying what advantage there is for human being in all his toil, work that he is toiling, working under the sun. So basically he's saying people are working, there's no point. For people are working, which is a continuation of the sentence that everything is nonsense. So it's continuing saying everything is nonsense, but people are working if everything is nonsense. What's the point of doing work if everything is nonsense? And he's saying for the first time here, sun. So he's widening the picture. I mean, if we talk about the arena and the space where this is taking place, they're saying, there is me, Kohelet, there is my father, there is Jerusalem, and there is suddenly the sun, which is widening the horizons. So, how do you see this addition of the sun? What does it add, if anything? Do you have any idea?
The proportion.
Yes. I think that he's saying there is no point, no advantage, not only between the person and himself, not only between him and his family, not only in the context of his country or land, but everything under the sun. His work has got no meaning, not only not for him, but for everything else. In other words, when he's putting the word sun in, he's saying, your work is a wastage in a cosmic proportion. Like you're saying, it's not only a catastrophe for you, it's a cosmic catastrophe. And then he's saying, generation
Why
comes...
catastrophe?
Catastrophe?
Yeah.
Catastrophe.
Why did you use the word
Ah,
catastrophe?
just to illustrate, there is no point for your work. It's a catastrophe. It's never mind.
Okay.
Generation comes, generation goes, and the land forever stands. So, what we have here is, it's very interesting. Generation comes, generation goes, and the land. What do you think he means by that?
He spoke about the space, I think, and now he's speaking about the time.
Yeah, nice one. Nice, very nice. Okay, so he's speaking about the space. Now he's saying time. And what he's saying about time?
That past and future and nothing is matter still. Everything is the same.
Yeah, generation comes and generation goes. This is, so to speak, from the standpoint of the sun, I suppose.
From the?
Standpoint of the sun. He's saying there's no point
Yeah.
under the sun. Then he's saying generation comes, like from the standpoint of the sun, you look at this at the land, and it doesn't seem to him anything. People come and go, but the land stays the same. And it's true, the land stays the same. We only come and go. It's like theater. There is the stage, and actors come and go. The stage doesn't mind who is on it. And the actor on the stage at that point thinks that he's everything. He's fulfilling the stage now, but in a moment he's going to go. And another actor comes, which doesn't remember the first actor, and the stage is all for him.
Yes. And there is no meaning for nothing.
Well, meaning it does not come into this yet, but there is a sense of pointlessness. A sense that, what's the point? You work, the sun, the land, people come and go. And then he's saying, and the sun shines, and comes the sun, and for its place it is shining there. So he's basically describing what the sun is doing. He's saying, he's basically describing, I would say, a mechanical universe. The only thing which is not mechanical is the work that the human being is doing. It's not mechanical.
Can you say it in Hebrew, this sentence?
What sentence?
Hashemesh, with the sun.
וזרח השמש ובא השמש ואל מקומו שואף זורח הוא שם. It's mechanical.
Yeah.
It's going this and it's going there, then it's turning around and it's turning left and it's going back to the beginning. Dun, 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 dun. Very mechanical.
Yeah.
So
But there is
first
the
of all,
word
he puts the sun up there, then saying, yeah, alright. It's mechanical. The only thing which is not mechanical again is the human being which is trying to do something, trying to work, to get, and saying, yeah, you try, but you come and go, and the land stands, and the sun goes here and there, and you make an effort, but everything is mechanical. How do you feel about me saying everything is mechanical?
It's not new for me, but...
Alright, but how do you feel about it? Do you feel anything about it?
Yeah, it's a hard feeling.
It's not a good feeling.
It's not a good feeling, not at all.
Because I saw that when I said the sun is mechanical, your smile became smaller.
Yes, it's true.
See, this is really quite a big needle in a balloon, because we would like to think that there are higher intelligences. And when you go up to the level of the sun, I mean, you know, the sun used to be worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. Look at it as God. And the only thing that I think agrees with mechanical universe is science. Science basically talks about lifeless universe that works according to mechanical rules that no one knows who put them there, or they evolved by themselves, but they work mechanically. And suddenly, Kohelet, which is supposed to be a big king in Israel, and it's in the Bible, is speaking about the fact that not only human being is pointless, universe is mechanical, working without spirit. But let's see what else is waiting for us here. And then he continues to talk about the sun. He first says that it's shining and coming, and for its place, it's going and shining, it's there. And then he continues and says, goes to the south and turns to the north and turns the wind. So it's interesting, he says ruach. Ruach, it's wind and it's spirit. Yes. Turns and turns the wind, spirit, and all its size comes the spirit. So it's interesting that he's making this transition from the sun suddenly to talk about the spirit. Because I don't see a point that he's talking about the wind, because if he's going from
yes, the sun is higher than the wind.
That's right, he's talking about human being, he's talking about the land, then he's talking about the sun,
yeah.
And suddenly he goes to the wind.
No.
Doesn't make sense. So the upper level is the spirit. Of course, it's my interpretation, but it's my legitimate interpretation.
But he's going up every time. It looks like he's
So
going up.
this sentence, what do you think this sentence adds to what we talked about the mechanicalness of the sun?
Can you say it in Hebrew?
I read it from the beginning of the sun. And shining the sun, and comes the sun, and for its place, it's aspiring and shining, it's there. Then the second verse, number 6. Going to the south and turning to the north, and turning, going the wind, going the spirit, and on all its sides returns the spirit.
He's talking about the first thing that I see here, that he's talking about the return.
Yeah.
You talked about it also in one of your articles.
Yes. He's basically saying here that everything is turning round and going to the same place.
Yeah.
Everything is turning round and going to the same place.
Yeah.
But what addition do we have here now?
Also the spirit.
Also the spirit. So you see, this man is saying, not only everything is mechanical and you are working for nothing, also the spirit is mechanical. Now this is real blasphemy. This is really breaking everything which is religious. I mean, not only the sun, also the spirit works mechanically. This man doesn't believe in anything. I mean, he is a scientist before the scientists. And he's the king who built the temple in Jerusalem. God help us. And all the rivers, actually it's not a river, it's smaller than a river, Nachal. I know it in German, Bach. All the rivers go to the sea, and the sea isn't full. For the place where the rivers go, to that place they are coming back to go. Shall I read it again?
Yes.
All the rivers go to the sea, and the sea isn't full. For the place that the rivers go, there they are returning to go. What do you make out of it?
He's still talking about the return.
Everything is a cycle.
Yeah, everything is a cycle, and nothing is, and that's the reason there is nothing full there. It will never be full.
Is he talking about fullness?
Yeah, he's talking about the sea, that all the rivers
Ah,
come
that's
to
right,
the
you're
sea.
right. All the rivers go to the sea, and the sea isn't full. So, you know, it's interesting.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, okay, but I want first of all to make it real. What does it make you feel if you try to fill up something and it's not full? I mean, can you imagine you have a kettle and you have a glass and you pour water and it doesn't fill? So it's a metaphor, you're saying. Alright, it's a metaphor for what? Do you have any idea?
I think for the state of the human beings, because I think so, because we think that one day something will be full and then something will happen. Even in the Bible there is a talk about the Mashiach or the good days or heaven or whatever, and they're saying, don't wait for this day. Look at the nature. All the rivers go to the sea, and the sea is not full. It will never be full, and it will never be enough if you go in the same way like all of the other rivers. Maybe I'm taking it a little bit far away.
I'll take it where I think.
Okay.
The sense that I get out of it is of a cycle.
Okay.
You know what the cycle is? Machzor.
Okay.
Now, we have the seasons in a cycle, which means eternal repetition. Now, the interesting thing about a cycle is that you make a cycle and you wish that somehow something will click, because otherwise it becomes a loop.
It's a loop. He's talking about a loop.
Yeah, but if a cycle does not click, like I have an example. When you turn the key in your car, it's a cycle. It goes, it's turning. It goes, click. And the cyclical motion is doing that to charge something. And you charge it so there will be a fifth point. Usually cycle has got 4 elements in it. Winter, summer, spring and autumn. Yes. And so on and so on. There's many examples. But quintessent is the fifth thing, which is actually what bursts out of a cycle. I mean, you should charge it until it ignites. Something should happen out of a cycle. And the frustration here is that it's like a broken record.
Yeah, you charge it just so it can go on in the same way.
Something doesn't work. That's the sense that I get out of it.
Okay.
Something is happening, so it will continue to happening, and nothing goes out of it. Yeah. It's like a plant which is growing, so it will grow, but there's no flower.
Yeah. There is no feeling of full.
Yeah, full in the sense that there is a point, that it's going somewhere, something comes out of it. The feeling that I get from what he's saying, listen, I look at everything, something is stuck.
Yeah.
It's all working, but it's like stuck at the second stage and it doesn't click to the third stage. Everything returns. There is human beings, so there will come more human beings, there will come more human beings. It's like you have a factory and you've got, for example, pieces of meat to make out of them sausages. You know sausages?
Okay.
And the machine is stuck. And there is meat which is coming, and there is more meat which is coming, and there is more meat which is coming, but there's no meat turning into sausages. The machine...
It's a terrible metaphor.
It's a terrible metaphor. Alright, I will give the metaphor of factory of canned peas. Peas which are in a can.
Okay.
So you've got peas coming, and there should be can waiting them, and then the can should be closed, and then shipped into a van. And instead of that, there's more peas and there's more peas and there's more peas, and they're piling up, and it's not full, it's not going to the can, it's just getting wasted. So there is peas, so there will be more peas. Yeah. And the example of the car is a very good example. You ignite and you ignite and you ignite and you ignite, but there is no switching on. So what he's saying, something in this creation is not happening. It's not switching on. Yeah. I see that everything is going on, so it will continue to go on, but it's going nowhere. Yeah. How do you feel?
It's very strong.
It's stronger than sad, yeah? And then he's saying in verse number 8, all things are tired. No man can speak, and the eye will not have enough to see, and the ear wouldn't have enough to hear. What it's going on and on and on, and you hear so you can hear more, and you heard everything, and you still want to hear. And again, the sense of a bucket which doesn't get full, pointless. You sort of open the tap and the water will go more and more and more, and it's going nowhere, the bucket is not full.
It's like he's talking here about
it's interesting what he's saying. All things are tired, no one can speak. I mean, the second part of the sentence we can understand. The eye wouldn't have enough to see, the ear, but no person can speak? That's a very interesting sentence. He's saying it in connection to everything is tired. No one can speak.
איך זה בעברית tired? עייף?
כל הדברים יגעים.
יגעים.
Well, I think that the text of Kohelet, like the text of the Song of Songs, is encrypted. What I mean by encrypted, it's a conscious riddle. Riddle? Chida?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Conscious riddle. It's written by a conscious human being.
Yeah.
That knew very deep secrets about life. And he is giving what he wants people to understand, and he is hiding what he doesn't want people to understand.
Yeah.
And when he says, yeah, everything turning, people say, yeah, everything turning. You can look at it life this way, fine. But he's not saying it just to say that. He is putting things in from a higher level of consciousness. I could not understand this sentence because you see, no person can speak is something intriguing there. Why no one can speak? What does this have to do with the fact that the sea is not full and rivers go to the sea and you can't hear and the ear will not have enough, the eye won't have enough. Everything is tired and no person can speak.
The only thing that I see here, and it's still very deep, but I'm not sure, is that like what we spoke about, the internal dialogue, is that a person is really not speaking from his deeper ramot, levels. And that's the reason that he needs stimulation all the time, and he's never full of them because he cannot speak. Something really deep inside can say what he wants to say, and then he needs to look and to hear and to...
Okay. Let's see what we understand by the word speak. It's not on the same level as hearing and seeing, because you see,
it's not talk, it's speak.
Alright, it's not talk, it's speak, nice one. But animals can hear and they can see, but they can't talk. They can't speak. Speaking is a human attribute. And the question is, what does it mean by speaking? Who speaks? The person who's got something to say. What can you speak for real? Only the truth. But people do not exercise, because in order to speak, you need to exercise your conscious faculties. You have to have something to say, and in order to have something to say, you need to be conscious. But you can't be conscious because everything is tired. Which means there is no charge here. There is no spirit here. There is no dynamic here. There is no fire here. Everything is without force. So that's why we've got nothing to say, because our consciousness is asleep. That's how I understand all things are tired. No man can speak.
Yeah, and it's if what you said in the beginning, you said that animals, they can see and hear. And what makes the difference between animals and us is the speaking level, and we cannot speak, so we are like animal, and it brings us back to the mechanical word that you spoke.
And he's saying, it's interesting, the second sentence of the second part of the sentence, all things are tired, no man can speak. He's saying, the eye will not have enough to see, and the ear will not have enough to hear. So it's very clever, because first, when you hear it, you say, yeah, can't speak, you couldn't have enough to hear, you couldn't have enough to see. It's all sort of the same thing. But no, he's putting them together, but there's a big separation between them. Because they're not on the same level, speaking and hearing. And what he's basically saying is saying, well, people are without truth. No one is speaking the truth. No one is telling the truth. People are too busy consuming stimulations. That's what he is saying by saying the eye wouldn't have enough to see and the ear wouldn't have enough to hear. Because, you see, what there is to see and hear, we saw everything. There is nothing new under the sun. But the ear wouldn't have enough because we are consuming, instead of being with the truth and saying it, we are all the time want to get more and more and more for the same, and it wouldn't have enough. More food, more movies, more sex, more fun, more comedies, more. Then he's saying, in verse number 9, what was is that which will be, and what was done is that which will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. There is a thing that will say, look, this is new. It was forever, which was even before us. No one can remember the firsts, and even the last ones that will be, there will be no memory, even though they have been last. And it's interesting that he speaks about the cycle, and he is writing what he is writing in a cyclical form.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Because when he finished verse number 8, is something very powerful that's saying here, sort of putting it in very slightly. See, in the Hebrew, Chazal, sort of halacha, whatever, you have it, Arba nichnasu lepardes. For people who got into an orchard, and pardes is the initials of the simple level, more higher inner level, more inner level, more inner level.
The secret level. The end is the secret
in secret level, and the whole idea of understanding the Bible, and the text of the Bible, understanding that there is a hidden level that only with a special understanding you can understand it. And I think that he is writing it in a very clever way that not everyone can understand that he is not just crying about spilled milk. He's describing the situation, but I think the most important sentence is what I said.
Yeah.
Things are tired and no one can speak. And after said that, to make sure that we wouldn't trace it, he goes back to the cyclical eulogy. What was, what will be, and what was done, it will be done. And there is no new under the sun. He said it already, but he is repeating it again and again. He's covering what he is saying. Something that someone is saying that it's new, no, it's not new, it was before. There's no memory to the first and the last, which was. There will be no memory. So this is the end of what we will work on today. Is there anything that you wish to say, open?
I agree with you that this is the sentence of the
turning sentence, yes.
Yeah, this is the only sentence that is really saying something. הוא נוקט עמדה פה, ממש אומר משהו. And it's really strange because this looks like the only sentence which is not connected. So you have most of the time you just skip it.
I think most people will skip it.
Yeah.
I think I'm right by taking it out because speaking and consciousness are working together. But he means speaking in the higher sense of the word, not just opening your mouth and vomiting everything that you consume. No one speaks the truth. Even Kohelet himself. He is hiding the truth.
But at least he can, He's saying it, but he's hiding it. So
he would rather that people will think that he's an old, pessimist human being. You see?
But he's saying, it's like, האמת היא שעכשיו אני במתח, כאילו זה סרט מתח. I want to know what is going on.
You want to know what's going on?
Next.
Because next he's saying,
maybe he's giving, when he's saying this, he's saying somewhere that there is some hope. Because he's saying, I know what the problem is. Okay? No one is speaking because everything is tired. Okay, so if there will be some kind of energy that will not make, that will take out the tiredness from the thing, then maybe we can speak. Or some of us.
Yeah.
Okay? So there is some kind of hope here because we understand the reason. Okay? So maybe, I don't know how it goes on. I really don't know this.
So let's hope that this little seed that he's putting inside, we can trace it later on. I hope we will continue to do this. I must admit that what he's saying is sad. Definitely sad. It's interesting that this is a very known book, but no one actually really stopped to think that what he's saying is truth. People are too busy celebrating life.
It's also funny that people took it as there are a lot of sentences that people are using them like fluently every day. הבל הבלים הכל הבל, הנחדש תחת השמש, כל הנחלים זורמים לים והים איננו מלא. But they use it without understanding.
That's right. I think the most terrible thing that you can do to radical revolutionary text is adopt it in everyday saying, because then you get the Holy Spirit out of it.
זה הופך להיות מובן מאליו.
It becomes understood by itself. Okay, so we finish with this, and thank you for watching. We will continue.